Hello there. Come on in. Don't stand on the doorstep letting the draft in. Close the door behind you and pull up that comfortable chair by the radiator. I've just this moment put the kettle on, and the pot is warming nicely. It really is a miserable grey old day outside, isn't it? The sort of damp, clinging weather that gets right into your bones and makes everything feel just a little bit stiffer and creakier than usual. But it is warm and dry in here, and I am truly glad you have stopped by for a chat. Today, I don't want to talk about the weather, or the news, or the rising price of milk at the shops. I want to talk to you about something a little deeper, something personal. I want to have a proper, sensible chat about the engine under the bonnet, our circulation, our hearts, and that heavy, sluggish feeling that seems to creep up on us as the birthdays tick by. You know, getting older is a privilege. It really is. It is denied to so many, as they say. But my goodness, the maintenance schedule gets a bit demanding, doesn't it? It feels like every time we go for an MOT at the doctor's surgery, there is a new noise under the bonnet, a squeaky hinge somewhere, or a warning light flashing on the dashboard. We've all been there. You wake up in the morning and the engine just feels a bit slow to turn over. It isn't pain exactly, it is just a heaviness, a resistance. You swing your legs out of bed and it takes a moment for the world to settle. You stand up and the ankles feel a bit tight, the knees complain, and you think, right, let's get moving. Perhaps you have one of those little monitors at home, the cuff you wrap around your arm. You sit there at the kitchen table, pushing the cat off the playmat, listening to the Velcro crinkle as you pull it tight. You press the button, and you feel the squeeze. It gets tighter and tighter, pulsing against your bicep, and you can hear your own pulse thumping in your ears like a distant drum. You watch the digital numbers count down. Beep, 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 and then the result flashes up. And maybe, just maybe, those numbers are creeping up a little higher than we would like. The bottom number is climbing. The top number is looking a bit ambitious. The doctor gives you that look, you know the one, over the top of their glasses. They talk about management and lifestyle changes, and you walk away feeling a bit heavy-hearted. It is worrying. It sits in the back of your mind when you're trying to enjoy your Sunday roast or a walk in the park. You wonder, is my plumbing holding up? Is the piping going to last? Now look, I'm not here to sell you a miracle.
I don't believe in magic wands, and I certainly don't believe in overnight cures that you see advertised on the internet with flashing lights and Americans shouting. I am a sensible person, just like you. I like things that make sense. But I do want to share a messy, earthy little habit that has been doing my circulation the world of good. It is simple. It is likely sitting in your vegetable patch or the local greengrocer right now, and frankly, it works a treat. We call it red gold. It is a daily ritual that costs pennies but pays dividends in how sprightly you feel. It involves the humble beetroot and a splash of lemon. But before we get to the what and the how, we need to understand the why. We need to understand exactly what is happening inside those pipes of ours to make us feel so sluggish. To understand why this helps, we have to look at the plumbing. My dear friend, think of your blood vessels, your arteries and veins, exactly like the garden hoses we use in the summer. When you buy a brand new hose from the garden centre, it is delightful. It is flexible, soft and supple. The water rushes through it easily. You can bend it around the rose bushes. You can drag it across the lawn, and the flow is strong and steady. It expands when the water's turned on and relaxes when it is off. It accommodates the flow. But what happens when that hose has been sitting out in the sun and the frost for 40, 50 or 60 years? It changes. It gets a bit stiff. It gets rigid. It loses that lovely bounce and elasticity. And inside? Well, if you live in a hard water area like I do, you know exactly what happens. It gets furred up with limescale. The smooth tunnel becomes rough and narrow. Now imagine trying to push water through a stiff, narrowed hose. You have to turn the tap on full blast just to get a decent trickle at the other end to water your petunias. In our bodies, the heart is the tap. When our vessels get stiff or a bit third up with age and lifestyle, the heart has to work double time. It has to pump harder, squeeze tighter, and shout louder just to get the blood down to your toes and up to your brain. That creates pressure. That is what high blood pressure is in simple terms. It is simply your poor heart trying to force fluid through a system that has become a bit resistant. We aren't trying to force the water. We just want to soften the hose. We want to help the body relax its grip. It makes sense when you think of it that way, doesn't it? We just want to ease the pressure, not fight it. We want to turn the hose back into that supple, flexible tube it was 20 years ago. So how do we tell our internal plumbing to relax? How do we soften the hose without a chemist's laboratory full of synthetic pills? The answer lies in the soil.
It is the humble beetroot. Now stay with me. I can see some of you pulling a face already. I know, beetroot has a reputation. It is the vegetable we were forced to eat at school dinners, usually pickled in sharp vinegar that made your eyes water and your lips pucker. It tastes a bit like you have licked the bottom of the allotment. It is earthy, it is deeply savory, and heaven forbid you drop a slice on your best white shirt or you will be wearing that stain until Christmas. It is a messy, stubborn root. It stains your hands pink, it stains your chopping board, and it makes a right mess if you aren't careful. But my precious friend, that earthiness is exactly where the power lies. This isn't a sugary fruit that gives you a quick rush and a crash. This isn't a flighty banana or a sweet strawberry. This is a serious root for serious support. It spends its life buried in the dark, soaking up minerals from the soil, packing itself full of goodness so it can survive the winter. It absorbs the strength of the earth, and when we drink its juice, we are borrowing that survival strength. We are taking that resilience and putting it into our own bodies. You see, inside that deep red root, there is a special component called nitrate. Now, don't worry about the scientific name. Think of it as a letter written to your veins. It is a natural compound that the plant uses to grow, but when it enters the human body, it does something quite remarkable. When you drink this juice, your body reads that letter and sends a gentle signal to the walls of your blood vessels. It converts this nitrate into something called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the body's own miracle molecule. It is not a forceful shove, it is a whisper. It travels through your system and simply says to the arteries, calm down, let go, open up. It acts like the body's natural release valve. Imagine the muscles around your veins are all tense, gripping tight like a fist. This signal tells the fist to open. The lanes widen, the traffic flows smoothly. The heart doesn't have to shout to be heard anymore. It can just hum along at a steady rhythm. It is a beautiful, natural mechanism. Imagine coming home after a long, stressful day, sitting in your favorite armchair, taking a deep breath and letting your shoulders drop 3 inches. That feeling of relief, that is exactly what this juice helps your blood vessels do. It is a sigh of relief for your circulatory system. It turns a narrow country lane back into a motorway, allowing the oxygen and the nutrients to speed along to where they are needed without getting stuck in a bottleneck. Think about how that feels for a moment. When your circulation is poor, your hands are always cold, aren't they? You have to wear socks to bed. You feel that chill in your extremities. That is simply the warm blood struggling to get to the end of the line. When you open up those roads with the beetroot signal, the warmth returns. It is like turning the central heating back on in a cold house. Now, I want to ask you something, just between us friends. Do you ever feel that heavy leg sensation when you try to walk up the stairs, like you are wading through treacle? Write a little yes in the comments below if you know that feeling. It helps to know we aren't the only ones feeling a bit slow these days, doesn't it? But here's where the secret comes in. You cannot just drink the beetroot juice on its own. Well, you can, but you would be missing a trick. You would be doing half the job. You need a partner. You need the twist. You need a lemon. Why the lemon? Is it just to improve the flavor? Well, partially, yes, it cuts through that dirt taste nicely. A good squeeze of sharp, acidic lemon juice brightens the whole thing up and makes it quite refreshing, actually. It takes away that muddy aftertaste that puts so many people off. But it is actually nature's little trick. There is a very clever reason for pairing these two together. You see, our bodies are constantly dealing with wear and tear. We're like an old iron gate left out in the rain. Over time, with stress, pollution, fried food, and just the simple act of breathing, we start to rust a little bit on the inside. This rust is what damages our cells and makes us feel old. It is called oxidation. Now the goodness in the beetroot, that letter to the veins, that nitric oxide, is very fragile. It's delicate. It can easily be destroyed by this internal rust before it has a chance to do its job. It's like sending a letter in the rain. The ink runs and the message gets lost before the postman can deliver it. The lemon acts like a shield. It is packed with vitamin C, which is a powerful antioxidant. Think of vitamin C like a coat of anti-rust paint. It locks in the goodness of the beetroot so your body holds onto it rather than letting it slip away. They're best mates, really. The beetroot opens the door to better blood flow, and the lemon stands there and holds the door open, making sure it doesn't slam shut again. It preserves the magic. By adding the juice of half a lemon to your beetroot, you're effectively doubling the workload the drink can handle. You're making sure that every drop of that red juice actually gets to where it needs to go. It is a synergistic relationship. They work better together than they ever could apart. It's like tea and biscuits. One is good, but together they are perfect. And what does this mean for your daily life? What is the payout for drinking this ruby red potion every morning? It is not just about the numbers on the doctor's chart, although seeing those come down is a wonderful feeling. It is about vigor. It is about stamina. It is about how you feel when you are moving about your day. Think about the last time you had to walk up a steep hill, or perhaps just the stairs if you were carrying a heavy load of laundry. You get to the top and you are puffing a bit, aren't you? You have to stop on the landing to catch your breath. The legs feel a bit like lead. That's because your muscles are crying out for oxygen, and the delivery vans, the blood cells, are stuck in traffic. They can't get through the narrow lanes fast enough. When you use the red gold ritual and those vessels open up, the oxygen gets to the muscles faster. The traffic clears. It's like clearing the air intake on a car. Suddenly, the fuel is getting to the engine. You might find after a week or so that you are not puffing quite as much when you walk to the shops. You might find you have the energy to play with the grandchildren for an extra 20 minutes without needing a sit-down. You might find that the heavy leg feeling in the evening isn't quite so heavy. It is subtle, mind you. You won't suddenly be sprinting for the bus like a teenager or running marathons. We have to be realistic. But you will have a bit of reserve energy in the tank. You won't feel that desperate need for a nap at 3 p.m. And at our stage of life, having a bit of reserve energy is worth its weight in gold. It's the difference between watching the garden from the window and actually getting out there to weed the borders. It's the difference between saying no to an outing because it sounds tiring and saying yes because you feel up to it. There's another lovely side effect to this ritual, and that involves your liver. We often forget about the liver, don't we? It just sits there quietly on the right side doing its job. But think of your liver as the filter in your washing machine. It catches all the rubbish. It filters out the toxins from our food, the environment, and our own bodies. Over time, just like the filter in the machine, things can get a bit sticky and slow. It gets clogged up with the gunk of daily life. This red juice helps loosen everything up and gets the internal juices flowing freely again. It gives the filter a proper rinse. It stimulates the flow of fluids that carry waste away, stopping things from stagnating. A happy liver usually means better energy and clearer skin. It's all connected. When the river flows clean, the whole countryside blooms. You might notice your skin looking a bit less gray and a bit more rosy. You might find your digestion is a bit more regular. It's a gentle detox, not a harsh one.
It is just a bit of spring cleaning for the insides. And let us not forget the brain, that most precious of organs. We all have those senior moments, don't we? Walking into a room and forgetting why we are there, searching for a word that is on the tip of the tongue. It is frustrating. It makes you feel a bit foolish. But often, this brain fog is just a lack of blood flow. The brain is a greedy organ. It needs a constant rushing supply of oxygen and nutrients. If the pipes leading to the attic are a bit narrow, the attic gets dusty. By opening up the blood vessels, we are sending a fresh breeze through the attic. We are clearing the cobwebs. Studies have actually shown that drinking beetroot juice can increase blood flow to the frontal lobe of the brain. That's the part responsible for decision-making and memory. Imagine that, a vegetable helping you stay sharp. It won't make you a genius overnight, but it might just help you remember where you put your glasses a little faster. I'm curious, do you have a natural remedy that your grandmother used to swear by? Perhaps something for a cold or a headache? I would love to hear about it. Pop it in the comments section. We can learn so much from the old ways, can't we? So, how do we do it? What is the protocol? We don't want any fuss, we don't want a kitchen covered in red splatters, and we don't want to make it complicated. If it is complicated, we won't do it. It needs to be easy enough to do while the toast is popping. Here's the recipe, plain and simple. You need half a medium-sized raw beetroot. Now listen to me carefully. Raw is important here. You can eat cooked beetroot for your salad, and that is very good for you. Plenty of fiber in that. But for this specific vessel-opening magic, raw is the potent stuff. Cooking boils away some of the magic. It kills the messenger. So get a raw one. Scrub it well, get the dirt off. You don't want to be crunching on grit. Peel it if the skin is very tough and gnarly, but if it is a young beetroot, a good scrub with a stiff brush is fine. The skin has goodness in it too. Chop it up into chunks and put it in your blender or juicer. Add the juice of half a lemon. Squeeze it right in there, pips and all if you have a strong blender, though I prefer to catch the pips. And add a glass of water, about 200 milliliters, just enough to help it blend. Blitz it. Give it a good whiz until it is smooth. It will turn a magnificent, deep, vibrant purple. It looks like life itself. Now, my precious friend, listen closely because this is the secret that most people miss. This is the difference between it working a little bit and it working a treat. Do not just gulp it down like you are taking nasty medicine. Do not hold your nose and down it in one. You must chew it.
Chew a liquid? I hear you ask. Have you gone mad? No, bear with me. You must swill it around your mouth. Let it mix with your saliva. You see, the process that turns the beetroot into that gentle signal for your veins actually starts in the mouth. We have friendly little bacteria living on our tongues, good bacteria that kickstart the process. They are the key to the ignition. They take the nitrate from the beetroot and convert it into nitrite. This is the first step. If you bypass the mouth and send it straight to the stomach, you lose half the benefit. The stomach acid destroys some of the potential before it even starts. So take a sip, swill it, savor that earthy tang, let it wash over your tongue, and then swallow. Take your time. It's a morning ritual, not a race. Sit down with it. Read the paper. Enjoy the fact that you are doing something good for yourself. Think of those little bacteria as your helpers, turning the key in the ignition of your circulation. If you use an antibacterial mouthwash, try not to use it right before your juice, as it kills those helpful little friends. Give them a chance to do their work. Now, before you rush off to the greengrocer with your shopping bag, I must act as your sensible friend and give you a few precautions. We want to be safe, not sorry. I want you to enjoy this, not worry about it. First, the red scare. I need to warn you or you will have a terrible fright and you will be ringing me up in a panic. If you drink beetroot juice, there is a very high chance that when you go to the loo the next day, either for a number 1 or a number 2, you will see red. Bright red. It can look quite alarming, honestly. It looks like something has burst inside. Do not panic. You haven't broken anything. You are not dying. It is just the beetroot pigment passing through you. It is called beeturia, and it is perfectly harmless. In fact, it's a good sign that your digestion is moving at a decent speed. So, if you see red in the bowl, just smile and say, "Ah, that's the red gold working." It's a badge of honor. It means you are taking your health seriously. Secondly, let's talk about stones, kidney stones. Beetroots are high in something called oxalates. Now, for most people, this is absolutely fine. Our bodies handle it with no trouble at all. But if you are the sort of person who is prone to kidney stones, if you've had them before, you know how painful they are. It is not an experience you want to repeat. We don't want to trigger that. If you have a history of calcium oxalate stones, have a chat with your doctor before you start drinking this every day. They might tell you to drink plenty of water with it, or they might suggest you steer clear. We want to fix problems, not cause them. Listen to your body.
And finally, medication. This is crucial. If you are already on pills for your blood pressure, that is wonderful. Keep taking them. Do not stop. This juice is food. It supports you. It is a powerful ally, but it does not replace your doctor's advice. Do not throw your pills in the bin just because you bought a bag of beetroot. That would be foolish. We use this to help the body, to perhaps stop things from getting worse, or to give us that extra bit of vitality. We work with the doctor, not against them. Imagine this scenario. You start taking the juice. It works brilliantly. Your blood pressure drops naturally because your vessels are relaxed. But you are still taking the strong medication. Suddenly your pressure might drop too low. You might feel a bit dizzy when you stand up. That is actually a success, but it needs management. That is the moment you go to the doctor and say, "Look, I think I'm doing too well. Can we check my numbers? Maybe we can adjust the dose." Let them make that decision. That is the sensible way to do things. So there we have it, the red gold secret. It is cheap, it is effective, and once you get used to the taste, you might even start craving it. It feels clean. It feels like you are putting life back into your veins. It feels like you are washing away the cobwebs of age. Why not give it a go for a week? Just 7 days. That isn't a huge commitment, is it? Buy a few beetroots, a bag of lemons, and see how you get on. Make it part of your morning routine, just like brushing your teeth or putting the cat out. See if the stairs feel a little easier. See if the brain fog clears a little. See if you don't feel a bit lighter on your feet. It's a small change, but often it's the small hinges that swing the biggest doors. A little change in the kitchen can lead to a big change in how you enjoy your afternoon walk. We often spend so much time looking after others, our children, our partners, our friends. We run around making sure everyone else is comfortable. But who looks after the engine? Who looks after the pump? You have to do it. No one else can drink the juice for you. It is a little act of self-love in a glass. And don't worry about the mess. If you get a bit of pink on your fingers, wear it with pride. It shows you are doing the work. It shows you are still in the game, still fighting for your vitality, still wanting to get the most out of this beautiful life. Look after yourselves, keep moving, and treat your body with a bit of kindness. It's the only one you've got, and it has served you well all these years. It deserves a bit of a service and a polish. It deserves the good fuel.
This information is educational. Do not change your doctor's treatment without consulting them first.
Check out our other great video about the red gold secret, why I drink beetroot juice with lemon every morning, blood pressure hack. It goes into even more detail on how to prepare it perfectly and some other little tips I forgot to mention today. Until next time, stay healthy, keep the kettle warm, and enjoy your red gold. Goodbye for now.